You know him, you love him. Trevor Wallace, internet sensation, host of the Stiff Socks podcast. You can find him on YouTube. I'm sure you already have found him. You already watched Trevor Wallace there. 1.85 million subscribers on YouTube. Trevor, what's happening, man? Good to talk to you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's great. It's the first thing I heard out of my just waking up, being like, "This guy's fucking internet sensation." Here I am, just sensational.
Yeah,
Pretty
man,
neat.
absolutely. I mean,
Pretty neat.
you've laid the groundwork for honestly, like people like myself. I mean, so many people, you know what I mean? Like you were on the front lines, I feel like, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. It's an interesting time right now because I feel like I got to go harder on TikTok. Like that's something I wrote on a fucking whiteboard, and I'm like, what is happening with my life? Where my to-do list for 2021, I was like, make TikTok edits, cut down. It's just like, it's so funny. So it's like I'm always like, whether it's a front line of YouTube and that type of style. Now I'm like, what's next? I'm just so like,
Yeah, man.
the
Absolutely.
game changes so quickly.
What do you like TikTok?
I love it. It's like addicting. It's just so just numbless scrolling until my thumbs are literally bleeding just out the thumbnail. I'm like, this has got to stop.
Because you were originally on Vine, you know, you kind of popped off on Vine, so it kind of, I feel like it's come full circle a little bit with that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like comedy right now seems very like Vine era comedy. It was Instagram was a place for all this for 2 years ago or something, maybe a year ago. And now people are just like, I need content quick and I need it now. Everybody just wants a key bump of a video. They're like, next, next, next. Like just watch how fast somebody scrolls on a bus or a fucking plane, whatever. It's just like boom, 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 boom. It's like,
Yeah.
so now if I'm putting out high quality produced 5-minute sketches, it's like, this has to stand with some girl doing the fucking busted challenge. How is that supposed to compete?
Yeah, man, it's definitely changed, and that's I feel like it's a weird balance of, because there's so many people, people are online, you got the guys with the dogs and their fucking profile pictures that are, well, is this comedy now and everything, and you're like, yeah, it kind of is, man. Like, get with the time. I don't really know what you want me to do.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I'm sure you get a lot of those type of comments. Just what sucks is you do anything outside of your lane, like one step outside of your lane. Like, let me try this. Anything. I'm sure for you it might be something that's not sports related or some just random idea you had with your cat. And somebody's like, the fuck? What happened? Can somebody tell me what happened to him? Does he have the COVID-19 in his brain?
What was that? I mean, you like I said, you've been, I mean, when did you start officially, putting out content and everything like that online? Because like I said, I feel like for as long as I have had social media, which is, 2013, 2014, Trevor Wallace has been somebody that I've watched, that I've followed.
Oh,
Is
damn.
that the case? I feel like that's the case.
Yeah, I was doing Vine shit in 2013. I had a few things go, but I wasn't on some crazy level out there with King Batch and giant backflips and shit. But my stuff started then from when Vine died from 2013, 20 15, 16. All I did was stand up, and I was like, just going back to my roots. This is what I can control. It's there's no media, social media to
Yeah.
dictate. It's just getting on stage and doing that. And then oddly enough, in 2015, 2016, I was like, I think Facebook videos might pop, which is weird, but how videos you can share them. Same with Twitter, as you know, is that snowball effect is massive.
Yeah.
So all you need is a couple shares from your cousin out in fucking Tuscaloosa, and you're like, oh shit, we're popping off now.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and then 2 years of that, and then around late 2017, I had some hit, and then I just kind of was just all right, fucking, because where I feel like I fucked up on Vine is I had some things hit, and then I would just leave it alone and be like, time to, because I was in college, so I was like, all right, time to bask in this college experience.
You're the Vine
Watch me
guy.
hand job.
Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
give me a hand job. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So, but now when it happened on Facebook, it also started to pop on YouTube for that same video, and I was like, all right, double down, let's go. And then I just never really took my foot off the gas, I feel like, because that's what I was like, all right, I'm never gonna make the mistake again of just not posting or leaving people wondering.
Sure. Yeah, and I was doing a little bit of pre-show research. I didn't know you're from Illinois.
Yes,
You're a
sir.
Midwest kid just like me. I'm born and raised in Indianapolis. So, and then you went to San Jose State. So did you just feel you had to get the hell out of there, or do you not like the Midwest?
So you can blame that on my mom. Naperville, Illinois, shout out. I don't know anything about the town. I was born there, but my mom was like, I hate the cold. And she's from California, and my dad's from Ohio. So they met there for work or some shit. I don't fucking know. I mean, are they my real parents? Let's hope. But we lived there for 2 years. My mom's like, I hate the cold. Like, and my dad got a job offer in California, and they're like, yeah, it's a wrap. We're back. So I don't really experience the Midwest too much, but you know, I'll Bears all day, baby. Do I know shit about sports? Mildly.
I was gonna
I
say,
know.
yeah, that was my next question. So are you don't have any teams? You're not a Cubs guy, a White Sox guy, anything like that?
I mean, it's one of those like, if I'm at a sports bar, my eyes will gear towards that TV. You know,
Yeah.
I do like the Bears. I watched the Bears growing up, but I just don't watch a lot of sports now. But I think Jay Cutler, as much as people hate him, it's kind of a chill guy. Had a
Yeah.
hot wife. I don't know if they're still married, but
They're not actually recently divorced, but
mm,
Jay Cutler, fellow Indiana guy, by the way. So Midwest guy
oh,
there. He's from Indiana. But I feel you. He seems like a hell of a guy to go drink some whiskey with, you know?
yeah.
He's got that
Brian
like kind of
Urlacher was like my idol as a kid. I was like, that's all that is man. You can't get manlier than Brian Urlacher.
what a last name. Or, you know, it's like he came out of the womb just meant to be a fucking linebacker.
That's what I'm
Linebacker.
saying. Yeah.
Linebacker.
He
That's
was born at age 54, just linebackered up.
so like let's say 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old Trevor Wallace. Maybe it all
Yeah.
changed. It probably did from that time. When
Hmm.
did you say, "Hey, I want to be in comedy. Hey, I want to do entertainment." All that.
Actually, pretty early on. Like, I've always just loved comedy and like always tailored myself to watching comedy versus like if somebody's like, have you seen the new Laura Croft movie? I'm like, who the fuck's Laura Croft? And I'll be like, what about Robin Williams? You know, so like I've always just kind of been in that realm, and it's been earlier than I thought. Like my mom was like, you know, mom just keeps scrapbooks of like
Oh
your
yeah.
third grade projects. She found one from when it was literally like third or fourth grade that said, what do you want to do when you grow up? And it said, and it like was spelt wrong, but it said like comedian. I was like, oh shit, very on brand.
Okay. You mentioned
Yeah,
Robin
my like
Williams. Is that your biggest influence? Is that your guy?
he's definitely one of them. Yeah, I remember watching like because my parents wouldn't let me watch like all the crazy rated R stuff, but like Mrs. Doubtfire was like something that
Classic.
yeah, so I'd just like throw that on like you know like once a month and just be like nice. I just thought it was just so funny, and Flubber I think was great. Uh, just some classics, but yeah, always kind of just been into more so comedy than anything else, and still to this day, I mean, people are just like, "Have you seen you know, just the Queen's the Gambit?" I'm like, "What are even all these words you're saying to me?" Like, I don't. I'm it's like, yeah, that's it. Like, I don't like it's shitty to say, but like, I'm that guy who watches like social. Like, I'll just be on my phone for an hour and a half instead of watching like a insanely produced HBO show, and then I wonder why I have the IQ of a squirrel, and I'm like, oh, this makes sense.
But you mentioned though, like you're on top of the trends. You seem like an innovative guy when it comes to that. So looking ahead with comedy, with entertainment, with productions, whether it be movies or sketch shows or whatever. I mean, do you feel like it's going to just continue to grow with the TikToks of the world and those kind of platforms, into going away from your hour and a half documentaries to now it's going to be this type of entertainment?
Yeah, I think it's two very separate lanes. Like, if something is meant for a phone, it's gonna stay quick. It's gonna stay short. And if something's meant for TV, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. I
Yeah.
think people will always have that attention span for the Game of Thrones of the world and that type of stuff. But even now, it's like you'll be 5 minutes into a movie and you look over and somebody's on their phone. You're like, I'm sorry, was this shot in Cambodia that cost them 10 million not good enough for you? You had to see what people were posting on their fucking brunch Saturday morning. So it's like you're always going to have that. But I think that's why I think like Quibi, not to get political, but Quibi, it was like a streaming app, but it was only on your phone and you couldn't convert it to the TV. And it was like a commuter's app, but like people don't want to stare. They're like phones. Like if you're
On
doing
one
something with your
thing,
thumb,
the
yeah,
scroll is the key.
the scroll's what keeps you going. But like just holding your phone like this for like 10 minutes is just kind of weird. You know, it's like you have to be doing something on your phone to.
And then you start to wonder, like, oh, you like somebody texted me, and now I have to check that text, and then I mean, Barstool is very big on like, not very. I don't want to speak for the company, but it's just like a lot of the people were kind of like Quibi. What are we doing here? Like it seemed like the theory was like, oh, this is the way that it's going. But
I see where it was. I see the vision,
right.
but and who knows if the pandemic kind of fucked them over too. But it's kind of weird how everybody's just jumping ship, like completely abandoning and going straight like TikTok model. Like literally every app right now has a version of that, which is like crazy.
Reels, I mean, Instagram just shoving reels down our face,
Shoving it. Instagram is. I was telling this to Michael Blaustein, my co-host on Stiff Socks. It was like Instagram is like just slowly turning into like a hot girl. They're just like they need so much attention at the bar right now. They're like, if you want to make funny content, you have to make a 1-minute version, a 3-minute version for IGTV, then a 30-second version. But you know what? If it goes on the grid, it's going to crop some of that out. So you need to go post it on a separate account just to make sure that it's going to fit on your regular account. It's like he literally has a burner account to upload a video onto Reels to see if shit's going to get like cropped out of frame. It's just like
Polizzi. Yeah, no, it's a definite thing. You have to, because if you put out some fire, a sketch or something, and your head's cut off,
and then all of a sudden you get the guy back with the dog profile picture being like, "What is this comedy?
What's up with the production value here? Can't even see your head." Yeah, dude.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's brutal. I mean, I hate to talk about it because it sucks and I hate it so much, but like, have you just kind of become immune to people who say shit like that? Or is it?
No, not even, man. It's like, I think it's like, it depends on the day I'm having, honestly. If you're having like a good day, you feel good about yourself, you're working out, you're like, man, whatever. That's that guy's life. I feel bad for him for commenting that. But there's certain days where I'm just like, damn, wow, that hit home. Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll just be like, I'll like go to type something out and then I'll delete it. I'll be like, you know what? It's not worth it. And then a day goes by and I'm like, oh, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. It just really doesn't matter. But
it's been a weird adjustment, but that's.
Do you find that doing sports related stuff, you get more, because doing sports like content is almost kind of like political in a sense, but I mean, well, political is like you're either left or right, but like sports is like there's so many different angles. If you're like a diehard fan of like any team, do you find that like do you get comments more so often than others? Or if people, who's your team?
I'm a really big Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Got you. So when they're doing trash, are people just randomly tweeting out of nowhere, be like, "That's what you fucking get"?
Oh, dude, yeah. You make a great point about the, being similar to politics, because people, I mean, it's visceral. It is.
And that's the thing is like, if there's a game and then you make a sketch after the game, whether they won or lost, the other team is just gonna be popping off, Well, that's why you guys fucking blew it in '93, and you're like, yeah, well, also that was 27 years ago, so.
Right. No, I've told people in my family, I'm like, look, like I love this team. I love the Steelers, but honestly, this last year, like they lost in the playoffs and I was kind of just like relieved. I was kind of like, it's not even fun anymore to like be a fan or like watch, because as soon as they like, get down by 2 touchdowns or whatever, I got people, you fucking pussy, your team sucks. You're such a joke. You're not even funny. I'm like,
but the not even funny part is hilarious, because you're like, what does that have to do with the fucking pick six? How does that affect me?
Yeah, man. So I've kind of
very true.
I've kind of just become numb to it. I don't really know, but yeah.
You said you're done. Are you jumping ship to a new team?
No.
Gotcha,
I got them tattooed on me.
Oh shit! Are those all the Super Bowls?
So yep. So no, that's for life. But I just like, over the last year, since I started with Barstool and stuff, I've kind of just like rethought about some of my like priorities. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the team, like I'm just like, all right, like if they lose or whatever the fuck happens, like just have fun with it. Don't get worked up, because like people just want to get you worked up. And
well, yeah, you also fuel the fire. The more you act up, you're just like lighter fluid on, because like trolls are just like an ember, and the more you act up, it's just like you're just, each time you post something like wild, it's just like just shooting off.
You know what I compare it to is I think about it as like, and I mean, it sounds arrogant, but like what I think about it is like those trolls or those people like that, they're internet fishermen, and they're casting out their bait for somebody like yourself, somebody like me, somebody who does what we do, to then take the bait, bite onto it, and then they can, hey, look at this. I got this MF to,
Oh
snap back
yeah.
at me or say something stupid. Like,
Dude, I'll
they're
like
holding up
block
the
some.
fucking 50-pound bass,
Yeah, I'll block somebody on like Twitter or something, and then I go to their page, be like, you know what? They're done with timeout. I like them again, and then like I go to like maybe unblock them or whatever, and then it's their they like screenshot it. They're like, LOL, when Trevor Wallace blocks you. I'm like, that's where we're at in this society where that's like an accomplishment. Like that's
Exactly.
get a hobby, basket weave, go to a park, walk outside. But like that's not an accomplishment. No girl's ever got pussy at a bar or like
Nope.
no guys ever gotten some fucking hey, girls get pussy too. Nobody's ever gotten some of that action just being like, wait, did Action Bronson block you on Twitter? And he's like, yeah. It's just such a
I
weird
fucking hate him too. Can I suck your
it's
dick?
just literally, but it's like that's this whole era, and who knows if it's been like this always, but social media is just more rampant than ever. It's just like it's just attention. It's like, how can I get my attention? It's like, because then you get blocked, you screenshot it, you post on your story, so and so blocked me, and then like one girl from their hometown's like, yeah, fuck that guy, and he's like, so Chili's, and she's like, no, it doesn't make sense. That's why like when you take a step back, you're like, sure, I get it, I understand.
Yeah.
And if I didn't pick this world of entertainment and all that stuff, would I be commenting shit on my friends on posts or something? Who knows? Maybe I'll still see people that I know that I went to like high school with or something. Like I'm very popular. You know how if you follow somebody, you see their comment first.
Sure.
It'll be like on LeBron James, and they're just going off, and I'm like, LeBron James doesn't give a fuck about a guy who lives in a town of 37,000.
Doesn't give a fuck at all,
Does
man.
not care. No, so
That
it's
video,
nice.
it's crazy. No, you make great points, but you like you're talking about the bar. That video that I did, just I don't know, like I thought about it and I was like, that I bet that happens to him a lot.
Oh
to
yeah.
Like, is that a pretty regular occurrence? What, can you even go out anymore? What's it like for you out?
I mean, Los Angeles is fucking shut down completely. Like, I haven't been to a bar. I don't even know, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Anytime I've been out, it's been on the road doing shows or something after, and even then, it's still like kind of like regulated and weird. But leading out to it, kind of depended on the city. It's like, or like the type of bar. Like in LA, there's like you definitely get your, like I think I have a good like post grad audience. So there's those like bars that tailor towards that kind of crowd, like the day drinking. If I go day drinking, it's just like fucking you, and then they're just. But it's fun. It depends on the person's like pressure they put on you. Because
Sure.
sometimes they're like, "Hey man, love your stuff. Can I buy you a drink, whatever." But sometimes they're like, "Nah, we are taking this shot of Fireball right now, my guy." Or the two worst are, "Hey, are you Trevor?" And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, I don't believe you, and I'm like, you're right, you question me now, I'm lying.
And I'm
One
not going to
guy,
convince you of it. Like, I'm not going to.
right, I have nothing to prove, sir, you came up to me. One guy was like, let me see your Instagram, I don't believe you. And the more drunk people get, the like more like the less sense they make.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
the worst one, which I don't know if you've ever gotten, but the worst is usually a girl will be like, hey, my friend knows who you are and I don't, so. And I'm like, what is that?
You just start slow clapping. You're like,
But like, what am I supposed to say to that? She goes, my friend like knows who you are and I don't. So inform me why I should know. I'm like, I don't know, ma'am. I'm trying to just have a goddamn mojito, goddamn it, and then just get pressed. But that's usually like they're hammered people. I don't know who you are, but my friend said you're somebody. And I'm like, cool. I don't know who you are, ma'am.
yeah.
So, but yeah, it also depends on the city. It's like you do find some bars that are more low key, but it's like I sometimes I put myself in those situations where it's like I went out in Austin, Texas. Have you ever been out there?
No, I haven't. I got buddies who live there though. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, their big like bar region is 6th Street,
Mhm.
and that's like that was like the most aggressive. It was like there was bars out there in LED lights that like spell out like those neon signs. It's like, hey, no laws when you're drinking applause. I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
And it was like, boom, it was like everywhere. We're like, pow, pow, pow. And I had like a hat and a hood on, but like that just draws more suspicion because you're like, why is this fucking weirdo
Wearing
wearing a
a
hat
hood.
and a hood?
It's
You
either
know?
Trevor Wallace or he's gonna fucking kill all of us.
Yeah, yeah, right. So, but yeah, it's but after being in quarantine so long, it's like I forget that like anybody knows who I am. I'll be like just out doing literally anything. Somebody like a Postmates driver will be like, here, order for, oh fuck. I'm like, oh god, this is awkward. So I kind of just forget because I don't have too many social like encounters. Like it's literally like I make videos, I do my podcast, and hang out with my girlfriend. That's like really all I really do. So like I don't have that social aspect until I like go travel and do stand up, and I'm like at a crowd, and I'm like, why are all these people looking at me? And I'm like, oh yeah, they're like here for the show, and I'm like, fuck yeah.
What do you and the lady do when you hang out? Just scroll on TikTok together like everybody else, or you have
A
a
little bit of
go-to
that.
TV show right now, or?
We've been watching a lot of 90 Day Fiance, if you're familiar with that.
All right.
You watch some of that or no?
I don't, but do you find yourself? I'm sure, like it happens for me a lot. You find yourself with these kind of shows immediately, all the time, just thinking, I can make a bit out of that.
1,000,000%.
That's a character.
And then
That's a
some.
sketch.
Yeah, well, it's also like it's like that show is. It's a certain type of person who watches it, and it's like if you watch it, you watch it. Like you don't just like browse for a second. You're like, oh, I think I've seen it. It's like if you watch, you watch. So I was like, okay, like could I make a video about a certain character on the show? It's like it's a niche audience, but it could pop. So I mean, my notes app in my phone is just like video ideas for days and days. So I'll just be watching something, but oh, it's funny, and like just like writing in, or I'll be like on using the voice, and I'll be like Big Ed, cool guy, 90 Day Fiance, and then I just look back at my notes and I'm like, was I having a stroke when I wrote this?
Yeah, does that ever happen to you? Yeah, like when you're about to fall asleep? It feels like it always happens to me. I'm like half asleep. I'm like, shit, I got to do it before I forget, and I'll roll over.
Because the next morning,
next morning,
every time, yeah, I'd be like, I think I'll remember it, and then the next morning, like, what was that idea? But yeah, my problem is I'll film something and shoot it, and then like have to edit it, and then I'll get another idea. I'm like, that's a better idea, and then I'm sitting on like I have like 5 videos unedited right now that I'm just like, ugh.
There you go.
Got to get around to those.
Got it in the bank. What how do you explain to like your grandparents or an older generation? How do you explain to them what you do?
Oh God.
You just go with the comedian, leave it at that.
Kind of, yeah. I'll do like a little hybrid version. Like I do like comedy, like internet videos, and in their head they're like, cool, but what do you do for money? And I'm like, work at Dairy Queen. I don't know. Like I almost just want to tell them like a shoot off answer just to end the questions.
Yeah, no, that's
just because like in their head, if you say comedian, they're like Bill Hicks, and I'm like, great comedian, little different. Graham. It's have you heard of a drink called White Claw? You have not. We got a lot of catching up to do, Graham. Okay.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I do like a Q&A on Fridays on my Instagram, and that's some people have been like, how do you, for the older generations or your grandparents ask me that, I'm like, I still haven't figured out how to, because like you said, unless you're just like, oh, I'm at Fifth Third Bank, then they're all like, I don't really know what that is, nor do you make money.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and it feels weird to like throw out a fact and then brag about it. So if I'm with my parents, my dad's great about being like, I'll be like, oh, I do internet stuff, comedy. My dad would be like, and actually in 2019 was voted for the best comedian of the year by the Shorties Award. And then I'm like, there he is right there.
You got your hype man.
Pulling up the facts. Oh, my dad is 100% my hype man. It's awesome.
I love that, man. That's great. Last one for you. Appreciate the time. This has been great. What is next for Trevor Wallace? Let's say 5 years. What do you want Trevor Wallace to be doing in your life professionally?
I just want to be on Dave Portnoy's new podcast with Josh Richards. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here live. I think for me right now, I'm in development with this show, this pitch that we're going to go out to like the market, try to go to the Hulus and the Netflix and the ABCs and the Fox of the world, and kind of going through that just to get a taste of the traditional side of the industry. And because I feel like if I never did that and just stayed with the internet, I would kick myself years down the road and be like, wherever my career is, like, I wish I gave traditional a shot. So, I mean, I would love to just see how far that goes. Never want to like leave out on my internet people, because they're the people that got me here. So I never want to just jump ship and be like, peace.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting to be like, have your hands in both pots, but I think it's definitely doable. But yeah, I think it's just, ultimately when I told myself when I moved out to Los Angeles, I was like, I just want to make videos on the week, do stand-up shows at night in town, and then on the weekends tour. And that's what I'm literally doing right now. So like, in a sense, like I've completed what I told myself I wanted to do in like 2014, 2015. So now I'm just trying to figure out, like, how do I, so I don't get tired of this dream. What's next? How can I set that? And I think pushing myself to try to do something in the traditional world of TV is a big jump, because I feel like TV people are kind of like coffee people in the word, in terms of like snobby. They're like, oh, this internet guy wants to be on our set. And you're like, yeah, but like, I appreciate like the art of it. And, I value everybody's time, and I'm not here to just be like, what's up guys, swipe up. And you're, like, I respect it. So I think that would be great, is do some traditional stuff. If I like it, dope, keep doing it. And if I don't, then I have absolutely nothing wrong with my current life right now. I'm kind of doing everything that I told myself I wanted to do. So keep doing this at a bigger level, and just continue to grow the fan base, and continue to get better and funnier myself.
I love it, man. Well, like I said, thanks for the time. Thanks for being an inspiration. Like I said, for somebody like me, like Ben Polizzi, for so many people out there who said, oh man, Trevor Wallace is funny. He's doing it. Let's try to do something like that. So definitely a big influence on myself. So I appreciate that as well. And yeah, man, we'll
Awesome.
be talking soon.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, thanks for having me. And I think football is over, but I was going to say, go. What did I say? Go Bird, go Pittsburgh. Go.
Oh, yeah, go Steelers. Give me
Go
one of those.
Steelers. Go Steelers. There it is. All right, man. Take care. Have a good weekend, dude.
See you, buddy.